Hey guys, welcome back to a brand new video. We're back on Monster Hunter World again, and today we're going to be talking about DEVILJHO, the new monster that has just been added to Monster Hunter World, and how to defeat him solo. So like always, let's get started. So if you're not entirely familiar, DEVILJHO is the newest monster added to Monster Hunter World and can be only found as of right now through expeditions and quests. The quests in specific have to be 6 or 7 star quests, and the expeditions have to be in the high rank. I was looking around each area of the game, and by the Rotten Vale, for me at least, there was a question mark by where one of the monsters should have been located, so I knew that he would be there, and sure enough, he was. If you're doing an expedition, you're basically going to have to take a shot in the dark at your area. First off, you want to be looking at all of the areas, Elder Recess, Rotten Vale, and see if where the location says where it has the 3 monsters located. If any of them have question marks and you have all the monsters in the game, definitely go to that one. But if it's none of them, take a shot in the dark with one of them and hopefully he happens to be there. If you have a definite way to actually find him going through expeditions, leave it in the comments below so that other hunters can know and be well notified. Like normal with all these videos, we're going to look at his physiology report and then go into the suggested equipment, movesets for the DEVILJHO, and then finally some overall tips at the end to help you out in the fight just a little bit more. So let's get started. Going based off the report, his head and belly are his weak points, with the head, tail, and belly being breakable or severable. In terms of weapon choice, it doesn't matter since all the weak points all do 3-star damage with every weapon, so it's entirely up to you whether you want to use a heavy bowgun, dual blades, hammer, insect glaive, entirely up to you. For weaknesses, DEVILJHO is weakest to thunder and dragon the most, with fire and water and all other elements being a 2-star. For me, I happen to use fire and ice, which if you don't know is a blast and ice type of dual blade, so I definitely had a disadvantage going into this fight, but I did not know his weaknesses at the time. I probably should have stuck with the Nergigante gloves that I got. For the recommended equipment, I suggest Mega Potions and Max Potions for obvious reasons, the Vitality Mantle to negate some damage, and the Rocksteady Mantle because you can negate the impact of his Stomp attack, which we'll get to in a little bit. Sadly though, if you are one of the people that haven't gotten past HR 50, you cannot get the Rocksteady Mantle, so if you're just meeting DEVILJHO for the first time and you're in the stars 6 to 7, I believe you do have access to the Vitality Mantle, so all is still good there. Null Berries as well are recommended because he has a spray attack that will hit you with Dragon Blight, which we'll get into in a little bit as well, and Dung Pod, since he will spawn on expeditions and invade your quests, you're going to need these to get rid of the other monsters out of your way, or you're going to be double teamed. Now that that's over with, let's get into the moveset. And for the first move we're going to be talking about in his moveset, the first attack is this head thrust. He will basically pull back and then thrust his head forward to knock you down. You can run away from this move or dodge left or right to evade this move. I do not recommend dodging forward or backward, as you could possibly still get hit by the move. The next move is this foot stomp. This will do minor damage similar to knockback damage if you're aware of that, and then make you struggle a little bit to get up if you're affected by it. Like I said, using the Rocksteady Mantle will negate all of this, allowing you to put pressure on him while he does this move. The other variation of this move is the Pounce attack, which is the same exact thing applies though, it just depends on whether you're farther away or close by to determine what variation he uses. Another is this 3-hit swipe attack. He will quickly lift his head up and go right to left, then left to right, and then back to right to left again, as shown in the clip if that description was a little bit too confusing. If you're hit by this attack and you get knocked on the floor, don't move and let him finish, or you will get hit again if you try to get up. So wait until he's finished, especially if you're hit by the first move, because if you try to get up, you'll get hit on the third move if you try to move. So like I said, just wait until he's finished while you're on the ground, because you do have invincibility frames there and cannot be hit while you're on the floor. The next move is his tail swipe. DEVILJHO has one of the longest tails in the game, definitely, so you definitely want to watch out for this move even if you think you're safe. You can either dodge backwards away from him and get out of range, or forwards if you're close enough toward the closer or to the bigger part of his tail, so you can dive into that underbelly and then attack his stomach. This move usually occurs when you're behind him, so definitely be aware if you're trying to attack his rear and trying to cut his tail. Obviously, cutting his tail is going to decrease how much range he has with that tail swipe, since he will still do it. So if you do want to cut his tail to negate that, it's entirely up to you. I went the whole fight really without really cutting the tail. I believe I cut it toward the end, so it wasn't really big of an issue for me, but that's entirely up to you and your entire choice. The next move is this trucking type move. I really don't know how to explain it, but he basically pushes forward and knocks you with his side, sending you flying back if you're hit by it. You can tell he will do this move when he backs up and does a mini roar and then charges forward. Dodging sideways and not towards him is going to be your best option, because the tail can clip you on this move, so watch out and try to dodge away from him as soon as possible. If you're basically around his side area, so about the middle of his stomach, you definitely want to dodge closer towards the head and not the tail, because like I said, the tail being incredibly long, you have a lot of distance to dodge. And then the last move is the spray attack we talked about earlier. DEVILJHO will basically back up and raise his head high in the air and release this spray of red gas that gives you Dragon Blight. And Dragon Blight nullifies your weapon's elemental properties. You can cure this by simply eating 1 nullberry. It does say elemental. I'm not entirely sure if that also means the ailments like blast, stun, and poison and all that, but it obviously does mean elemental: fire, ice, water, thunder, dragon, all that type of stuff. If anyone knows in the comments, or if anybody knows that's watching the video, please tell me in the comments below if it also includes ailments, so that, like I said, other hunters can know as well. This move has about medium range on it, so either dodging backwards or out of range of it, or dodging forwards if you're close enough, and getting some free hits while he's doing this attack is completely fine. Usually, if you guys have seen most of my solo guides, you know I cover the areas in which you fight these monsters in, except this time it's a little bit different since you can basically fight him in just about every location, I'm assuming. I happen to fight him in the Rotten Vale, but I know for a fact that you don't have to fight him in the Rotten Vale. You can be fighting him in the Ancient Forest, Wildspire Waste, or the Coral Highlands, all that stuff. So basically, just understand your environment and use it to your advantage. If there's a ledge, use it for mounting. If there's paratoads and neuratoads, use those as well to blow him up or paralyze him, because he can get paralyzed. But there is a quick tip we will mention later in the video regarding that. But like I said, just use the environment to your advantage and you should be completely fine. Sadly, I cannot go over every single area in the game because I'm not entirely well equipped and know every single thing in every inch of every map. And then lastly, to end the video, we have some tips I would like to share. The first one in particular is that once after you beat him the first time you ever encounter one on the expedition, you want to go back to Astera and go to the blue exclamation point right in front of you. It's going to be a bunch of scholars. They're basically going to be talking about how DEVILJHO is in the new world and he's fucking up the ecosystem again. But more importantly, after you collect enough tracks, you're going to be getting a special assignment to kill another DEVILJHO. I don't want to go into specifics on what the thing is. There really isn't huge spoilers, but just in case anybody doesn't want it, I'm not going to share it. But basically, the main assignment is to kill the DEVILJHO. So you can use that. It's going to be in the special assignments tab underneath events. It's going to be the fifth, I believe it's the fifth or sixth type of tab at the bottom when you go to join a quest, and it's going to be highlighted in red for you. Next tip is that DEVILJHO can be trapped since he isn't an Elder Dragon, but he's the only monster I believe at this time that can actually fight back instead of letting you get free hits. You can also capture him if you want, like I chose to do, but like I said, he will fight back, but regardless, he can still be tranquilized if you use the trank bombs after you capture him. So definitely, if you're trying to lure him into a pitfall trap or a type of shock trap, definitely be aware he will fight back and try to bite you. For the next tip, if you're attacked by moves such as the red spray move or the brute attack or any of that type of stuff, like the 3-move hit combo, you basically want to sit on the floor and don't move. We talked about this earlier, but to reiterate, being on the ground gives you invincibility frames, allowing you to completely negate certain damage that would otherwise hit you. So slow down and don't jump the gun too much and let him finish the move, let him chill out, and then you can get up and start attacking him. For this fight, you also want to be sitting underneath DEVILJHO for most of the fight, like I said, to evade some of his dangerous moves. So try to dodge on forward on most of his attacks, like the spray and other stuff, to get underneath him and get in a few free hits, because he is very, very aggressive. And then the last one is talking about his 2 phases. DEVILJHO has 2 phases. If you've already fought him, then you will definitely know. One is the normal one, and then the next one is the enraged one. The enraged one, you can tell when it's active is because he also roars right before it, and his back is reddish orange. In his normal phase, his legs are also weak and should be targeted if you can't get the head. But if in his enraged form, his legs do half damage, so if he's enraged, you want to hit for the belly or the head, and if normal phase, go for the legs, since they are safer. Like usual with these videos, like I said, if you have any other tips or advice that I didn't mention, leave it in the comments below for other hunters to learn, so we can all be well equipped for that DEVILJHO fight. That is going to be the video, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that, and hopefully you're now well more equipped to fight DEVILJHO. He was actually a little bit easier than I predicted. I thought he was going to be this tough monster. Maybe that was just my interpretation of him. Maybe that was what the, because I know DEVILJHO is in the past Monster Hunter games. From the community, from what I've been hearing from the veteran players, he was actually a lot more difficult. So I feel that maybe they dumbed him down a bit, whether that be for new players or just because he's in the 6 or 7-star ranking, stuff like that. But like I said, that's going to be the end of the video today, guys. If you guys did enjoy that, please sure to give it a like. It really does help me out. Subscribe if you're new. I'm going to be covering more stuff with these solo guides when, like I said, when more monsters come in. There's also going to be a new event coming in the next couple weeks. I got tons of guides on. I'm going to be coming out with tons of guides on how to do some of that stuff, so definitely stay tuned for that. I'll keep you all up to date on that. My 2 most recent videos are going to be on screen, except this time it's going to be 1 recent video and then a playlist. This playlist is going to link you to every single solo guide that I've done. That includes Diablo, Gigante, the 3 Elder Dragons, Xeno, all that stuff. I don't want to spoil too much about any of the monsters, but any of the higher rank monsters, especially in the high rank, the Elder Dragons, I've done guides for them. So if there's a chance that you are struggling with one of those monsters, click the playlist and find the video and it will take you right to it. Thank you guys for the love and support on these solo guides. They seem to be some of my more popular Monster Hunter videos, as well as some of my most popular videos in general, so I appreciate all the support on those. You guys are the best. But either way, guys, that's going to be the end. Hope you enjoyed. And with that, guys, hope you have a great rest of your day, and peace out.